Hare Krishna, everybody. Welcome to this Srimad Bagavatam class. Thank you for coming. Have you heard of this artist called Yanni?
Yeah.
You play like him. Please repeat after me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayanam Namaskritya.
Narayanam Namaskritya.
Narottam Narottamam.
Narottam
Deving Saraswating Vyasam.
Deving Saraswati Vyasam.
Tato Jayam Udirayat.
Jayam Udirayat.
Nasta Preshabdareshu.
Nasta Pradesu.
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya.
Nityam Bhagavatam Sevaya.
Bhagavate Uttama Sloke.
Bhagavate Uttama Sloke.
Bhaktir Bhavati Naistaki.
Bhaktir Bhavati Naistaki.
Om Jnana Timirandasya Shalataya Chaksuramritanjana Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Marapustam Stapatamina Bhuttale Swayam Rupakaramayam Dadati Swapadantikam Mandhyam Sri Guru Sri Yuttapadamam Sri Guru Vaisavamsya Sri Rupam Sagarichatam Sagana Raghunatham Tam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savarutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitam Devam Sri Radha Krishna Paran Sagana Lalita Sri Visakam Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinamutu Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanda Radha Kanda Namaste Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vandamanishwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakapudur Vishupasudeva Patyana Bhavnevyo Vaishnavevyo Namo Namah Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasari Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Shubhaya Krishna Krishna Vidare Sritte Jabata Shankinam Nama Acharya Vidani Tai Kripa Vidani Gaura Kadam Tai Nirgram Tai Mukam Kuroti Mansaru Pangadai Kuri Kripa Tamam Mande Sri Guru Dina Taram Paramam Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Welcome everybody to today's Srimad Bhagavatam class. Today we are reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 59, chapter entitled The Killing of the Demon Naraga, Text 30. Please repeat after me. Aham payo jyotir adha nilo nabho. Aham payo jyotir adha nilo nabho. Matrani deva mana indriyani. Matrani deva mana indriyani. Karta mahan iti akilam characharam.
Karta mahan iti akilam charam charam.
Karta mahan iti akilam characharam.
Karta mahan iti akilam charam charam.
Tvayi adviti bhagavan ayam brahman.
Tvayi adviti bhagavan ayam brahma.
Tvayi adviti bhagavan ayam brahman.
Tvayi adviti bhagavan ayam brahma.
Aham payo jyotir ardhan kilo nabo.
Aham payo jyoti adanilo nabo.
Matrani deva mana indriyani.
Matrani deva mana indriyani.
Karta mahan iti akilam characharam.
Karta mahan iti akilam charam charam.
Tvayi adviti bhagavan ayam brahman.
Tvayi adviti bhagavan ayam brahma.
Aham payo jyotir ardhanilo nabho.
Aham payo jyoti ratanilo namo.
Matrani deva mana indriyani.
Matrani deva mana indrayani.
Karta mahan iti akilam characharam.
Karta mahan iti akilam chara charam.
Tvayi adviti bhagavan ayam brahman.
Tvayi adviti bhagavan ayam brahma.
Prabhuji,
Aham payo jyotir athananilo nabo. Matrani deva mana indriyani. Karta mahaniti akilam charam charam. Tvayi advitiye Bhagavan ayam Brahma. Aham payo jyotir athananilo nabo.
Aham payo jyotir athananilo nabo.
Matrani deva mana indrayani.
Matrani deva mana indriyani.
Karta mahan iti akilam charam charam.
Karta mahaniti akilam characharam.
Tvayi advitiye Bhagavan ayam Brahma.
Tvayi advitiye Bhagavan ayam Brahman. Aham payo jyotir athananilo nabo. Matrani deva mana indriyani. Karta mahaniti akilam characharam. Tvayi advitiye Bhagavan ayam Brahman. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. This is illusion that earth, water, fire, air, ether, sense object, demigods, mind, the senses, false ego, and the total material energy exist independent of you. In fact, they are all within you, my Lord, who are one without a second. Purport. The earth goddess in her prayers directly touches upon the subtleties of the transcendental philosophy, clarifying that although the Supreme Lord is unique and distinct from his creation has no independent existence and always rests within him. Thus, the Lord and his creation are simultaneously one and different, as explained by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu 500 years ago. To say that everything is God without any distinction is meaningless, since nothing can act like God. Dogs, shoes, and human beings are hardly omnipotent or omniscient, nor do they create the universe. On the other hand, there is a real sense in which all things are one, for everything is part of the same supreme, absolute reality. Lord Chaitanya has given the very useful analogy of the sun and the sun ray. The sun and its sunshine are one reality, for the sun is the celestial body that shines. On the other hand, one can certainly distinguish between the sun globe and the sun rays. Thus, God's simultaneously oneness with and difference from his creation is the final and satisfying explanation of reality. All that exists is the Lord's potency, and yet he endows moral and spiritual qualities of their decisions and activities. This entire transcendental science is clearly and rationally explained in Srimad Bagavatam. Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, Tamil translation.
மண் நீர் நெருப்பு காற்று ஆகாயம் சிலம்பொருள் தேவர்கள் மனம் புலன்கள் பொய் அகங்காரம் மற்றும் மொத்த ஜட சக்தி ஆகியவை உங்கள் தொடர்பின்றி சுதந்திரமாக உள்ளன என்பது பிரமையை. பகவானே உண்மையில் இவை அனைத்தும் இரண்டாற்ற ஒருவரான உமக்குள் இருப்பவையே. பூமாதேவி தன் பிரார்த்தனைகளில் உன்னத தத்துவத்தின் சூட்சுமங்களை பற்றி நேரடியாக பேசுகிறார். பரமபுருஷர் அவரது படைப்பிலிருந்து தனிப்பட்டதாகவும் முற்றிலும் வேறானவராகவும் இருப்பினும் அவருடைய படைப்பிற்கு சுதந்திரமான இருப்பு இல்லை. அது எப்பொழுதும் பகவானையே சார்ந்துள்ளது. இவ்விதமாக 500 ஆண்டுகளுக்கு முன் ஸ்ரீ சைதன்யா மகாபிரபுவால் விவரிக்கப்பட்டது போல் பகவானும் அவரது சிருஷ்டியும் ஒரே சமயத்தில் ஒற்றுமையும் வேற்றுமையும் கொண்டவையாகும். எதனாலும் கடவுளை போல் செயலாற்ற முடியாது என்பதால் எவ்வித வேறுபாடும் இல்லாமல் அனைத்தும் கடவுளையே என்று கூறுவது அர்த்தமற்றதாகும். நாய்களும் செருப்புகளும் மனிதர்களும் சர்வ சக்தி படைத்தவையோ அனைத்தையும் அறிந்தவையோ அல்ல. பிரபஞ்சத்தை படைக்கும் இவற்றினால் முடியாதது. மற்றொரு புறம் அனைத்தும் பூரண உண்மையாகிய அந்த பரமபுருஷரின் பகுதிகளே என்பதால் அனைத்தும் ஒன்றே என்பது உண்மைதான். பகவான் சைதன்யர் சூரிய கதிர்களுக்கும் உள்ள பயனுள்ள ஒப்பாவனையை கொடுத்துள்ளார். சூரியன் பிரகாசிக்கும் ஒரு சொர்க்கலோகம் என்பதால் சூரியனும் அதன் கதிர்களும் ஒன்றே. அதனால் அதே சமயம் சூரிய மண்டலத்திற்கு அதன் கதிர்களுக்கும் இடையில் வேறுபாடு இருப்பதும் உண்மையே. இவ்வாறு கடவுள் தமது சிருஷ்டியுடன் ஒன்றுபட்டவராகவும் அதே சமயம் வேறுபட்டவராகவும் இருக்கிறார் என்பதே திருப்தி அளிக்கும் உண்மையான விளக்கமாகும். அனைத்தும் பகவானின் சக்தியே. எனினும் உயர் சக்திகளாகிய ஜீவராசிகளுக்கு பகவான் சுதந்திரத்தை அளிக்கிறார். இதனால் அவர்கள் தங்களுடைய பௌதீக மற்றும் ஆன்மீக செயல் முடிவுகளுக்கு தாங்களே பொறுப்புடையவர்களாக ஆகின்றனர். உன்னதமான இவ்விஞ்ஞானம் ஸ்ரீமத் பாகவதத்தில் தெளிவாகவும் நியாயமாகவும் விளக்கப்பட்டுள்ளது. ஹரே கிருஷ்ணா.
So this is a very, very wonderful prayer. These prayers by Bhuma Devi. Bhuma Devi giving prayers to the Supreme Lord. This section, this prayer by Bhuma Devi is very famous because there is one very famous prayer here. Namo Pankajaya Nabhaya, Namo Pankajaya Maline, Namo Pankajaya Nitraya, Namaste Pankajaya Raye. My respectful obeisance unto you, O Lord, whose abdomen is marked with a depression like a lotus flower, who are always decorated with garland of lotus flower, whose glance is as cool as the lotus, and whose feet are engraved with lotus. Very nice. This prayer is offered by Bhuma Devi. It's a very famous prayer. So here, Bhuma Devi in this verse, she's explaining the very subtle influence of the material nature upon the living entity. Living entity have freedom. They have independence. They can choose. That is the distinction between a living being and a non-living being. So here Bhuma Devi is explaining that under the influence of illusion, the living entity thinks that all this material world, the things like earth, water, fire, air, ether, false ego, all this is separate from the Supreme Lord. In their mind, that is the definition of materialistic thinking. A materialist, they think in terms of, these things exist by itself. There is no influence. There's no person like God who's created this. No, they have no idea like this. But if you analyze even these material things, like what the scientists are doing now, they are analyzing it. They are discovering that how you analyze, how you look, also you look this way, you look that way, you look this way, you look that. You see, it's not possible for this thing to exist by itself. Because now you go and see any scientist from any field, from engineering, from biology, from psychology, from whatever it is, they all understand that everything exists in relation to something else. That is called ecosystem. They use this word ecosystem. You will hear a lot of this word ecosystem. So every one of the scientists, they say, yeah, it's true, lah. Nothing exists by itself. This thing exists because something else exists. That exists because something else exists. That exists because something else. And then they will discover, it's a system, like it's an ecosystem. One thing dependent on the other. And this ecosystem is so fantastic that they come up with another term, which is called, what they call? Design, intelligent design. All the while they say there's no God, no God, no God, no God, no God. Now they're using the word intelligent design. So this phrase itself suggests that there is intelligence. That means there is a person. You see? So this is quite interesting here. The living entity, like the scientists, they study this material thing by itself. They say, this thing cannot exist by itself. Somebody is responsible for it. So when they come to that understanding, they have a choice now. So this is what Bhuma Devi is talking about here. This living entity, they are known as Tatastha Shakti. Tatastha Shakti means that he can choose. I can choose to believe in Krishna, or I can choose not to believe in Krishna. I can believe in some other thing. He can choose. He has that independence. So here, a little bit in the purport, very, very deep argument is given here that if you say that, yes, all of this exists in relation to God, that is only one side of the coin. You must talk also the other side of the coin, then it will make sense. All of this exists in relation to the God. God created this material world, everything, earth, water, fire, air, everything, you, me, I, sight, everything. All this God created is God's gift to all of us. But you, to complete the understanding, you must also understand that God has nothing to do with any of this. So most intelligent people will scratch their head. It's a very big philosophy. That's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came up, when he came 500 years ago, he introduced the philosophy of Achinta Bheda Tattva, which is what is explained here. So anyway, these prayers are offered by Bhuma Devi in this chapter because the Supreme Lord just killed her son. Interesting, huh? God, you got offer prayer to the person that killed your relation. No, isn't it? So what's going on here? So this story is this chapter is a very nice chapter. This chapter starts with a demon by the name of Baumasura, aka Naradasuran. So this demon Baumasura, he is one terror of a demon. He's not alone. He's got one association of demons. He's got gang, he got friends. All his friends are equally as famous as he is. Why? Because this Baumasura, he's got one bone, he cannot be killed. So when you cannot be killed, what you will do? I'll do what I want. Nobody can touch me. I'm as good as God. So I can do what I like. So this Baumasura, because of bad association, he started to terrorize all the devas and all those kings that are pious. Terrorize Gila, and he is terrorized not to terrorize, he terrorized just for his fun. He got nothing else better to do. This is his fun, So he will terrorize, he will go and attack kingdoms, he will attack, and then his favorite thing was, whenever he hears anywhere in the universe, if there's a Swayambara, that means a king having a ceremony to marry off the daughter, he will go there. He will go there, he will whack all the kings there, he will whack all the princes, all the prince there, and he will kidnap the princess. This is his hobby. Our hobby is like collect stamps, we collect coins, we collect this, we collect that. This will collect princess. So one day, this Baumasura very arrogantly, he went to Amaravati. He went to the abode of Lord Indra. And there he was terrorizing Indra like nobody's business. Indra was running here and there. And one day while he was there, he saw something very glittering, very shining, So what is that shining thing? Then he found out it was the earring of Aditi, Indra's mother. Aditi was wearing one earring. The earring was so effulgent. He saw that, he said, I want that. He stole that earring from Mother Aditi. And then he was very envious of Varuna. He was very envious of Varuna. This Varuna has his Sakti, part of his Sakti is his umbrella. He's got one umbrella. So this Baumasura went to steal his umbrella also. Just for fun, because he can. Nobody to stop him. Nobody can kill him. So he did that. So out of frustration, Indra went to see Krishna in Dwarka. Okay. And mind you, Krishna had 16,108 palaces. He's available in all of these palaces simultaneously. So happened Indra went to the palace of Satyabhama. Krishna was there, being served by Satyabhama. So Indra went to complain to Krishna. This Baumasura too much, you must do something. So Krishna said, okay, I'll go and handle it now. So Krishna about to get up and walk and go and do his work. Satyabhama pulled one long face. I said, hello, where are you going? This is perfect wife. Now, husband going, hey, where are you going? I got work to do. See, you are supposed to be with me. You promised me you will spend time with me. So Krishna said, okay, come. Let's go. I'll go. I'll take you with me. So Krishna went on Garuda with Satyabhama. Why? Because she was pulling a long face. You're supposed to spend time with me. What work is this? You going? Come. Let's go. So Krishna on Garuda with Satyabhama went to this boat of Baumasura. What is the name of this place? Narasura. There's one place, okay? So this place is so fantastic that this Baumasura, he fortified his abode. He fortified his abode with first when you come to the place, you will see there's a big wall, huge wall, impenetrable wall. Behind this wall is millions of his soldiers, and then behind this soldier is a electric barbed wire. Behind that, there's a moat of water filled with vicious animals. Okay, behind that water is one area where there is a poisonous gas, and then behind this poisonous gas is another set of barbed wires. So Krishna went there. He relaxed when he is by himself with his wife, with Garuda. No army, nothing. Krishna went there. He just took his arrow. He shot at the wall. The wall just crumbled down. And there was the army there waiting there. So they all started attacking Krishna, all throwing weapon, throwing all this kind of arrow and all kind of spear and all that. No, Krishna just said one mantra on this one. He shot like that. All these weapons turned into flowers. And he shot another arrow. This one arrow became millions of arrows. These millions of arrows just cut all the hands and legs of all the soldiers there. All of them died. Millions of them died. Next after that was an electric barbed wire. Even that time so got electric barbed wire. So Krishna released his Sudarshan Chakra. Sudarshan Chakra make a spaghetti out of the barbed wires. So after that was a moat surrounded by water. All the vicious animals, Sudarshan Chakra just went there, make soya pretzel. Tick, cut, everybody all clear already. And then he went to the place where this poisonous gas is. Sudarshan Chakra went there, he spun so fast that the wind just took all the gas and it became like a small tablet. And then next he went to the barbed wire. Sudarshan Chakra just cut, he turned it to mee goreng. All the barbed wires. So, soya pretzel, mee goreng, everything got. So he went to, when he entered the abode of this Baumasura, there was a demon by the name of Mura. So when Krishna went there, he blew his conch. This conch was so sweet in sound, but for the demon, it was such a horrible sound. So much so that this Mura, at that time he was sleeping. He was taking rest. This Mura, he's the one who created all this wall, the soldiers, the electric barbed wire, the water with vicious animals, all that was his work, his handiwork. That time he was sleeping underwater, our friend. He's a demon with 5 heads. So when he heard this conch shell blown by Krishna, he suddenly became so disturbed. He came out from the water, he looked and he saw there was a bird, Garuda, and there was Krishna and Satyabhama there, and they looked like very beautiful moon, the sun and the moon. That's what he saw. And he said, and he saw his soldiers all died, his barbed wire all destroyed, all became soya pretzel and mee goreng, spaghetti, he became so angry. With 5 mouths, he screamed. He gave one very horrible scream. That scream was heard all the way until Swarga. The demons, the devas all heard this scream. They were all scared of him. He's such a terrible demon. This Mura, what he did was, first of all, he took one trident. He threw at Krishna. So Krishna just shot one arrow only, that dragon broke into pieces. And then this Mura demon, he screamed loudly, he became very angry. He's got a terrible temper. He screamed. Krishna said, what kind of sound is this? Krishna shot another arrow. That arrow became 5 arrows. It went into his mouth. You shut your mouth. Pop inside his mouth. 5 mouth, 5 heads inside his mouth. So he became so angry. He took one what you call Gada, threw at Krishna. Krishna shot another arrow. That Gada broke into pieces. But this time, our Mura didn't know what to do already. So he decided, I'm going to charge him. I'm going to whack him with my hands. He started to charge him. Krishna just released his Sudarshan Chakra, cut off his 5 heads, and he fell into the water. The splash that was created from this killing of this Mura demon, the splash went all the way up until Swarga. He was so terrible. So when this Mura demon died, the Devas were so happy, and they gave Krishna a name. What do you think? Murari. Yes, this is where the name Murari comes from. Just like Madhusudana. Krishna killed a demon by the name of Madhu. So after killing this Mura demon, this Mura mother died. They also could not take it. For our father's death. So they call one general by the name of Pritha. You please go and attack. Krishna, as usual, what he did, he released Sudarshan Chakra. All the soldiers, the Pritha, everything, the sons all killed them like anything. So after all of these demons died, Bhauma Sura came out. He said, what is this? What is this ruckus here? And he saw, this moon and the sun on this Garuda, what is this? This was all nonsense, I must fight. So this Bhauma Sura decided to fight using his elephants. He had elephants in the millions that had 4 tusks. 4 tusks. So these elephants are like tanks, very hard to stop them. So he had millions of them. So what happened was, Garuda saw this. For Garuda, these elephants all look very cute. Very cute. For him, he thought it was toy, So Garuda, what he did was, he just flapped his wings only. He never touched them, nothing. He just flapped his wings only. Just like that, These elephants all started flying. Like that, So this Bhauma Sura saw this. Oh, you're trying to play with my weapon, huh? Okay. So Bhauma Sura threw one spear at Garuda. The spear hit Garuda, and Garuda did what? No. What is that? Huh? What is that thing? Huh? It was like a scratch, like a mosquito bite, like this. What is this? Nothing. So again, he sent his elephants. Again, he whacked them. He whacked them with his wing. Push, like that. So Bhauma Sura saw this, and he thought to himself, this is not going to work. I got to send my most powerful weapon. So he released one weapon called Satagni. This Satagni is so fantastic that just by releasing this weapon, what happens is anyone that is in front of this weapon, they will die immediately, just like that they will die. So when this Bhauma Sura released this weapon, his soldiers also at the same time, so they threw their weapon. So can you imagine now, from the viewpoint of Satyabhama, one sea of weapon was approaching Krishna. She became so frightened. She said, Krishna, please kill them quickly. So that time Krishna released his Sudarshan Chakra. All this weapon all become all, what else? Soya butter? Nasi goreng. It became nasi goreng. So this, after seeing this Bhauma Sura, don't know what to think already. He himself got off and said, I am going to kill this guy, no matter what. So when he got off, Sudarshan Chakra cut off his head. And that's how he died. Bauma Sura. So after killing this demon, Bauma Sura, Krishna entered his palace. He had all his attacks, all his terror that he did on the devas and all that, he had this loot in the palace. All that became Krishna's property, including these elephants. All of it, he took all of them. So while he was doing the inventory of his palace, this weapon god or this riches god, I want this one, that he discovered one place where all these princesses, he kidnapped princesses, he collect princesses. He found his room and he opened the door. They all saw him. All these princesses saw him. Krishna saw them. Immediately, when these all teenage girls, they are all supposed to be married. When they saw Krishna, only within their heart, they prayed, "Oh my Lord, please let this person be my husband." They prayed. So Krishna entered like a hero. He is a hero. He saved them. So these princesses, actually, they are all widows. The moment Baumasura kidnapped them, this is marriage by Rakshasa style. It is legal. They were all married. So, very low. So when Krishna rescued them, nobody wants to marry a widow. Once you become a widow, no Kshatriya will accept you. No one will accept. So Krishna, realizing this, these are all beautiful young girls.